Come take a look at the rest of the components for the Burning Up Prospero box today on Spiky Bits. Spiky Bits! Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. Alright, well, it's all hands on deck this week with the Burning Up Prospero. Now, of course, this is the groundbreaking, brand new Horus Heresy, all plastic box set from Games Workshop. Today, we're going to take a look at the actual components that come in it, not the miniatures, not all the rules and everything. We are going to talk about all the other stuff that comes in it, okay? So if you want to see the actual contents and talk about the rules and talk about the miniatures, there's 2 other videos for that, so check those out here on the channel as well. Today, it's all about the insides, you know what I'm saying? So this kit is actually pretty neat when it comes to, I guess, like, playability factor, I guess. So it is its own separate game, okay? But you can also use the miniatures for 40k or 30k, whatever you want to do here. But when you start taking a look at all the components and things, it's really probably one of the most detailed ones, maybe except for Silver Tower, that we've seen from Games Workshop yet. Now, there's 5 different double-sided tiles here that are their typical, like, hard foam kind of UV coat gloss kind of type deal. It's very stunning stuff here. Now, on this particular tile here, you have, I like this one. So it's a double-sided one where you have a statue of the Emperor, right, of mankind, which is probably the first actual depiction we've ever seen of him from Games Workshop in like a component kind of form, right? And then on the back, there's one of Magnus the Red with a little blood sacrifice there, because what isn't a little blood sacrifice between a couple of Primarchs in his god, right? And then over here, you've got the Forge World Landspeeder all crashed and wrecked out, and so there's like complete kits, and then there's like, or complete sides and like wreck sides with different battle field debris. Now, of course, this is kind of like a battle of the Psychers as well, because you can see psychic powers all over the place, and the sisters are like trying to shut them down, but you've got these little like warp kind of power things here. It's just fantastic. The artwork's just fantastic. Like, you can incorporate this into a display board or anything like that. And then the other 4 double-sided tiles are right here, which, form together to be some really great looking stuff, which there's narrative missions and things in the actual mission book. In this kit, the Burning Up Prospero, there's the Rec Tequila with the little eyeball there, and you got a Zinchi symbol in blood, because, I mean, blood, it's blood. It's blood for the Zinch god, duh. More double-sided coolness. So you can combine these definitely with a lot of the other kits that are out there. Now, something else that comes in here is a variety of different dice for the game itself. Now, we haven't actually dug into actually how to play the game yet. I'd like to. Hasn't happened yet. We're just taking closer looks at things. But maybe we'll do a little how to play kind of type deal here in the near future. But remember, this stuff's kind of like a college class. Like, it takes a lot to learn it and break it all down. There, haven't seen a quick reference, quick start guide on this quite yet, but hopefully we'll see it in the near future. So here's the game. And of course, it's a 32-page rule book, all breaking down into, your typical kind of thing. You got your scenarios, you got your, hey, here's the miniatures, hey, here's basically some cool looking pictures of the miniatures, and then the general principles playing the game. There's like casting psychic powers, enumerations, which is basically like channeling the warp kind of type thing. There's a lot of allusions to the old Rogue Trader game, 2nd edition even, and of course, traditional or classical D&D itself, like Critical Hit, and just all this like different stuff in here that I found really exciting as I was like reading through it and glancing through it, just to like kind of get a feel for what all this stuff is. So first off, they basically give you a breakdown of the models, and then it gets into a lot of the overall gameplay, like setting up. So there is a little bit of a quick start, and then it's enumeration, like getting all your powers and everything together, casting psychic powers, attack phases, like everything is in here that you need, example on gameplays. Then it gets into the scenarios themselves, so there's a bunch of those in here, and I'm sure we'll see more in the White Dwarf, and then that's pretty much it. You can link them together as a campaign, and that's the actual breadth and depth of the game itself. But a lot of people aren't going to buy this for the game, and you don't really see people playing the Betrayal at Calth game anymore, even though it is a fantastic game and it's a great for beginners of Horus Heresy. So I definitely recommend that game as well. Haven't played this one yet, hope to in the near future. So little kind of comparison of the art right here. You've got the the good guys and the bad guys. I'll let you figure out which one's which, but there they are right there. I like that little leaflet kind of inset cover type thing, and then of course a quick reference guide there as well. Speaking of quick reference, we have 2 quick reference profile sheets for the units themselves. Now, this isn't going to tell you how they're played in 30K or 40K. There are none of those rules in this box, but there is a lot of other stuff in here that could give us some clues about how maybe they will play in 30K or 40K, but we won't really know until we see them come out in like the White Dwarf, which the White Dwarf already says there's rules for the Custodies in it, or maybe perhaps another supplement like we saw with the Angels of Death supplement, how to play Tyros Terminators in 40K. So, maybe we'll see more on that soon. Here's a picture, a close-up of the helmeted head for a sister. Of course, you don't need to use those heads. You can use either or if you want to there. So there's all that. And then, of course, we've got the instruction manual for the models themselves, which we've already showed a couple of times in the other videos, but it's fairly encompassing, very well laid out. I don't think there'll be any questions on assembly or anything like that. Very well done. And last but not least, we have the Legions at War, which is kind of the fluff book to get you started, kind of get you that little fake feel for the kind of the bigger Horus Heresy black books from Forge World itself. Now it's talking about the battle, kind of setting up the whole like what's happening. Then it talks about Space Wolves, and then it gets into the characters themselves. And Gregor actually has his own background and fluff, which you can see right here in this, along with Ahriman, who is right here. So it kind of gets into what's going on and how much of a badass he really is, and how Magnus basically handed him the torch to say, carry today, dog. We've been deceived and I'm a dummy. But Ahriman's yelling, yo, we ain't going to take this land down. All is not dust yet. And then it gets into the Custodies and the Sisters in the background on them, and talking a lot about those guys and gals that are fairly recent additions to the miniature lineup. And of course, we saw some great Grey Knight miniatures back in the late 80s that almost seems like it's what these are based off of, right down to the Guardian Spears themselves. Of course, Grey Knights being the Nemesis Force halberds, but I really get that feel when I look at these models. I get that old 80s Rogue Trader era Grey Knight feel to these models, because of course they hadn't really been developed yet. And of course the Grey Knights were actually developed right around the same time, kind of separately over on Titan in its own little Force stasis bubble kind of thing. But long story short, both very similar in stature, nature, and purpose. Now these guys are amazing miniatures, and I can't wait to see what else Games Workshop and Forge World come out with there. So this is the fluff book. This is what you're going to want to read if you're just getting into the game, or if you're already in the game and you want to know more about fluff. You can always check out all the lore articles we post over on Spiky Bits, along with Lexicanum is a great resource as well for all the fluff out there in Warhammer 40K. So those are the actual components themselves. The miniatures, we showed those already a lot over on the other 2 videos that we've done here on the channel. So there isn't much more to show you besides the actual cards themselves, which go with the game. Now there's 3 different sets of cards here. You've got some of they call these the I forget what they call these. This is basically the I forget what that is. I haven't played the game yet. This is all very first look unboxings. This is the Warp Channel deck, and then these are the not the legions, but the chapters within the Thousand Suns themselves, which have different specific psychic powers and things that they can cast. So there's a couple of different. Oh, these are the mission cards. So these are basically how you play the game and how it helps play the game, and you can kind of do them like Betrayal at Calth. Like I said, we will have a quick start, like how to play the game kind of type thing, as we have more time to research it and kind of get into it. But for now, that really isn't the case. Now, as far as everything you get in this box, it is a $150 retail price box. You get all the components you see here. Here's the complete listing of it. Conservative estimates probably place it at about $365 value or $375 value based off of GW's path to market this summer, going from the Betrayal at Calth, very similar box set there. So, you know, it's a great deal. If, like I said, they do the same thing, you're going to save about 60% off buying it separately. But then again, it is a $150 box set, so it's a lot to swallow all at once there. So this is it, folks. This is the big shebang right here. Of course, we know Magnus himself as a Demon Primarch is coming out, also releasing at the same exact time as this box set is Leman Russ, the Patriarch of the Space Wolves model, coming out from Forge World. You know, the normal resin, not the plastic goodness, but it seems like they are really lining things up for this release here. So lots of excitement out there, lots of cool stuff happening here in the Warhams hobby. Errors, clarifications, omissions, anything you'd like to ask us, please drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, folks.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.